Hello boys and girls, it's Will again. I hope you're staying safe and clean. So, last time I spoke to you, I was spreading some fertiliser. Today I speak to you from the cab of our loader. And I've just been out doing some supplementary feeding for some birds. So not everything we do as farmers is producing food, but it is obviously a big bit of what we do. We also look after the countryside and the wildlife, native wildlife of our countryside. So I'll just show you a couple of little things of what we're doing here. As farmers, we now don't farm right up to the edge of the fields. So this used to be field, but what we did, we create these wildlife areas on our farms. I was saying earlier that that's supplementary feeding. You might see some of these barrels around. And this is full of bits of grain, so we've got some, a little look at here. We've got bits of wheat, chopped up wheat. There's all stuff that, you know, when we dress out the corn, it comes, you can see here, lots of crushed up bits for the birds. So we keep these out, and we keep these feeders full all year round to help with little songbirds and to help with, you know, sort of red data list birds like the grey partridge. That's Winston, who's, well, just being Winston. He's like, this is a dead nettle. It's called a dead nettle, so it looks like a nettle, but it doesn't sting you. And it has these little flowers on. Now, these little flowers are quite cool. When you're out and about, when all this is over, if you see these little white flowers, you can pick a flower off. I don't know if you'll be able to see this, but this, if you squeeze the end of that little bit of juice that comes out, if you can just see there, that's pure nectar, sweet. It's very sugary. So these are really good for the bumblebees and the honeybees, and they'll forage away on these. There's lots of these. So at this time of year, this is sort of coming out. We also have some other, what we've got here, nice little blue flowers on here again, producing pollen for the bees. They'll be out working hard at the moment to produce honey for you. This pond was extremely clean until about a minute ago. Dogs decided we dug this pond in a few years ago, and we see lots of little bits in here, lots of duck, which have now gone because the dog's gone swimming. Winston, and that's a very good reason why we have to keep dogs under control. It's back. Should really be on a lead. Need to practice what I preach. So I'll show you some more of the wildlife things that we're doing a bit later on. Now the dogs are wet, you've got to sit in there with me. Silly dog. We don't farm up to the edge of the fields anymore. Quite the opposite, in fact. So here, around the edge of all of our fields, we put in a 6 or 10 metre grass margin, which is a wildlife corridor. This here that we're in is stepped up. So if we walk up here, go up the step, onto another flat area. Look there, this is flat. Now, this used to be farmed, so it was strip farming, and it's carried on for about 1 kilometre we have here. There's some very interesting things in here. We keep our eyes peeled as we're walking along. So this was once where the Romans were. And the Romans, with little paths, look, from Mr. and Mrs. Rabbit running around, go up another bank, through these trees, more paths from Mr. and Mrs. Rabbit and Mr. and Mrs. Badger. Keep going up these banks, quite steep in places. Come up onto this top one. Oh, what's this? This is a big hole. I think that's an old hole. I don't think there's anything in there anymore. So this is part of our environmental stewardship. Areas that we look after for the wildlife. And we come here once, maybe twice a year and top out any big patches of thistles or any big patches of brambles that we can get to. And then we leave it for the wildlife. And where I am here, the Romans used to live here. And the Romans, they used to eat big snails. So if I look around, see if we can spot some of them. Look, there's several of them here. Honestly, this is not set up. 1, 2, big snail shells, look. 3. So these are really big snail shells, as you can see. And the Romans used to have these snails for their dinner. And so we have them. These are empty snail shells. The dog's going to come and have a look now, look. So these were Used to be the Roman people's dinner. And all part of the wildlife jobs that we do. Follow these paths, look. Lovely day today. I hope you're all staying in, staying clean. Now this hole, it should go, I think, straight down. Yeah, that's a big hole. That is a big hole. You can see I can get my hand in there. Now that is probably where Mr. Badger lives. And you've ever watched the book, or well, I've watched the book, read the book, or listened to the book, or seen the film The Wind in the Willows, you all know about Mr. Badger. And this is a perfect place here. It's quiet, it's secluded, you know, nobody comes here. That's another Mr. Badger hole up there. He's got quite a big house. So we suffer with people coming into the countryside and putting their litter everywhere, which is not very good. So you must always remember to take your litter home. Now, keep rambling on. I'm showing you and walking and talking other things that we're doing. So, as well as Mr. Badger, we have Mr. and Mrs. Rabbit. They live in here as well. And the snails. But what we've also done, in these trees, you might spot them at times, we put these boxes up. Now these boxes are where the owls live. So we know we've got a pair of barn owls that live in this box, for instance. And then down here, there's a slightly different box. Again, still for the wildlife, but what we know is in here, and I'm not going to say I'm going to see anything because I don't suppose we will today because I'm walking around. But this box here, this is a kestrel box. So kestrels, beautiful little bird, brown with some slight bluing on their feathers. They will hopefully make their nests in those boxes, and we help that, and we encourage the wild birds of all types, from the little sparrows and robins and blackbirds and chaffinches, right the way through to the, you know, English partridge and the get over and the stone curlew that we have on some of the farms, and lapwings. We look after everything that we possibly can, and we also look after the predatory birds, the raptors. So I hope this video has shown you a little bit about what we do to help the wildlife on our farms. Not just about food production. We need a whole ecosystem to work for us and to work with. And let's not forget, the wildlife was here long before us. And so it's our duty as farmers to look after it, make sure it thrives, so that when you are going out for walks in the countryside on footpaths, you can see bees and birds, and you're very lucky, very, very lucky, and just maybe Mr. Badger. So yeah, I hope it's helped, and I'll be back in with some more farming bits and bobs later in the week, I'm sure. But in the meantime, take care, keep washing those hands, we'll see you very soon.